On May 1, 2025, police in Cincinnati tracked a stolen car via GPS, a vehicle directly tied to a recent drive-by shooting in a local neighborhood. Officers located the car parked along Warsaw Avenue in East Price Hill. They moved in to secure it, expecting a standard stolen vehicle recovery. As police approached, the car doors suddenly flew open. 3 unidentified suspects bolted from the vehicle, scattering in different directions through the neighborhood. This map shows a central starting point branching into multiple paths. They lead through dense residential streets directly into thick wooded zones. These civilian properties border the tree cover, giving the fleeing suspects an immediate tactical advantage to break visual line of sight in seconds. Multiple agencies were now racing into the area as a massive manhunt began unfolding across several square miles of civilian property. The initial search was marked by operational confusion. Officers near a local library detained a man who perfectly matched the physical description of one of the suspects, despite his claims that he was simply walking through the area. To confirm his involvement, police administered a gunshot residue, or GSR, test. This test checks for chemical traces left on the skin after a weapon is fired. When the results came back clean, officers were forced to release him. Shortly after, police intercepted a second man. Once again, they made an arrest based on proximity and description, only to realize he was a local resident simply on his way to work. While officers continued to canvass the area, a 911 call came in from a resident reporting that her personal handgun had been stolen from her unlocked car overnight. With a weapon now potentially in the hands of the fugitives, the search became a high-stakes operation. Officers had to assume the remaining suspects were armed and dangerous. The police response intensified as specialized SWAT units arrived in armored vehicles to establish a perimeter and secure the neighborhood. Because ground units couldn't see through the dense tree canopies, officers deployed surveillance drones to scan the wooded areas from above. Canine units were also brought to the scene. Handlers used scents pulled from the abandoned vehicle to establish a tracking trail through the surrounding yards. To trap the suspects, police utilized a pincer movement. One team created a distraction from the front, while a second group quietly approached from behind. As the teams converged, the targets were boxed in, allowing officers to capture 2 of the suspects without incident. But a search of the 2 apprehended men revealed no weapon. The third and final suspect was still hidden somewhere in the woods, almost certainly carrying the stolen firearm. A homeowner eventually reported seeing someone cutting through their backyard. This report directed police straight into a specific wooded landing where the final suspect fled. When officers entered the brush, they located 18-year-old Ryan Hinton. According to police reports, Hinton leveled a firearm directly at the advancing officers. Officers fired 5 rounds before immediately calling for an ambulance to provide Hinton with emergency medical aid. The official medical examiner's autopsy findings detailed 3 points of contact on Hinton's body: a strike to the left forearm, a wound near the upper back and shoulder, and a line tracing through the left arm into the center of the chest. Investigators determined the round tracking into the chest critically damaged his heart. This was the fatal injury. At the police station, the 2 surviving suspects, D'Anthony Bullocks and Jarrell Austin, admitted they had been in the stolen car, but stated they had nothing to do with the shooting. They eventually pleaded guilty to obstructing official business. The incident left a lasting impact on the family. Days later, Hinton's father was charged with aggravated murder after allegedly driving his car into a sheriff's deputy during a protest of the shooting. The East Price Hill incident reveals the volatility of a neighborhood manhunt. In the chaos of a chase, split-second decisions can permanently fracture families and alter a community.